Good evening. This is what our news bulletin is this evening. The Niue Police celebrate their officers' achievements with awards for service to the nation. Efforts to provide assistance for Vanuatu following Cyclone Pam are underway. Niue High School students add flair to their speeches in yesterday's Niuean speech competitions. And Niuean youth Inangara Vakafi speaks before the United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon. Niue Police celebrate their officers' achievements with awards for long service, overseas service during Ramsey deployment, and were in return promised a significant pay rise by Premier Tokitalangi. The ceremony this morning recognized several officers for their long service. Receiving recognition for 21 years in service is former Police Inspector Maria Tongatule, Court Prosecutor Constable Makasiao Ioane, and Inspector Brent Ioane, and also Constable Easter Tongia Mana. Other members of the force received awards for 14 years of service and for their service during overseas deployment with the Ramsey program to Solomon Islands, included the Chief of Police Tony Edwards, Sergeants Gregory Harding and Albert Tasmania, Constable Narita Viliamu, and also former officer Justin Mokoia. Constables Stuart Sakifilo and Carl Samupo were also officially sworn in as the latest recruits to the Niue Police Force. During his opening address, Premier Tokitalangi announced a significant pay rise for the police force of between $3,000 to $5,000 for each officer. The pay rise announcement was welcomed by the Chief of Police, Tony Edwards. Today's ceremony celebrated the dedication of the police to the community, but also gave the opportunity for the police to give thanks back to the community for their support. The Pacific Islands private sector organisation, PIPSO, is coordinating a regional response to support the Vanuatu private sector recover from the devastating Category 5 cyclone. Kiwi Bank is also providing an account for customers to donate online as part of Kiwi Bank's efforts to support the Red Cross, which is responding to the Vanuatu crisis. At this stage, we have yet to receive information from government regarding their response. We also understand that the country Tuvalu was also severely affected by the cyclone, and we hope to speak with the Niue Tuvalu community in a later bulletin. Niue High School senior speeches added a bit of flair to their speech competitions yesterday with dramatized versions of their Niuean speeches. This included costumes and role-playing using other students. This departure from the norm was well received as the audience cheered and waited in eager anticipation for the final results. At the end of the day, it all came down to one final winner, and of course for each of these categories. For Year 10, first place, Harriet Sionitama, second, Raquel Tarnaki, and third, Soraya Mangawa. In Year 11, first place, Shailene Tohovaka, second, Kathleen Sionituato, and third, Timora Tongatule. In Year 12, first place, Chrysalia Laufoli, second, Nusila Tavita, and third, Taveli Pavihi. And with the final results out, the audience can only expect bigger and better in years to come, and hopefully next year it'll be even more exciting. UN Youth Inangaro Vakafi speaks before the UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon on behalf of Pacific Youth. Inangaro Vakafi, our very own BCN news producer and presenter, spoke before the United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon yesterday, as she is the Vice Chairperson of the Pacific Youth Council. Inangaro addressed the United Nations Secretary-General on behalf of the youth as part of the Youth and Children Forum in Senpai in Japan. The Youth Forum was held at the same time as the third UN World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction, where the UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon made a special request to visit the Youth Forum. In response to that meeting, Inangaro describes it as a humbling and surreal experience. Inangaro was one of 6 youth delegates selected to make a presentation. Ina highlighted in particular the plight of small island developing states experiencing floods, cyclones, droughts, landslides, tsunamis and climate change. And in particular she highlighted Niue's Cyclone Hatta in 2004 and the current Cyclone Pam disaster in Vanuatu and in Tuvalu. And to finish off with our news this evening, Just a reminder that there will be a power shutdown for the entire island tomorrow morning, starting from 8 till 12 midday. It's great to be back on BCN, but Ina will be back with you next week. But until next time, from me, Nono Fua.